Welcome back. 10:15, the final Eckankar Ancient Wisdom for today's spiritual discussion is coming up this Thursday, October the 2nd at 1 p.m. at Riverbend Yoga. Same time, same bat channel, same bat place. It's titled The Goal of Spiritual Mastery. It's an hour presentation, just like the other ones have been, and you're going to share some stories, ask questions, and gain some insights and offer them, and try an exercise to help you become more aware of how the goal of spiritual mastery can help you in your daily life. And we're ready to talk about this again. How are we doing?
Amazing.
How's everything been for y'all?
It's been going fast, CJ. I mean, it really has. And that's indicative of just keeping up with. And things do tend to go faster. Once Halloween is in sight, then you have Thanksgiving, and then you have Christmas. So it's like really staying balanced through that all of that. And those are all interesting. This topic that we're talking about, self-mastery, the goal of self-mastery. The thing about that is, if you can, there's not like, oh, I've achieved self-mastery. It's the goal. It's just to keep moving, and then the benchmarks, do a little bit better today than I did yesterday.
Right. And see, that's where I think it's so important for everyday life, because, sometimes you want the mountain and you haven't even started up the hill.
Yes. Or the foothills. Walking up to
I'm still tripping over rocks in the flagstone. But you just keep moving,
This is really cool, and I think
inspire yourself.
It's really an important message, especially like you guys were talking about. It's going to speed up here in 2 days whenever October turns around, and we'll be through the end of the year before we know it. And this is a really good time to stop and reflect. Yeah. Well, and what do you hope folks gather out of this hour?
Well, you want to go first?
I just, there's so much in here. It's like one of the chapters is the fine art of knowing when to give up.
You're right.
And I think that is
surrender
huge for people.
Pushing.
Right. Yeah. Just to surrender whatever it is you're pushing at, and just let it happen. Surrender it to God and go, may the blessings be, like Flo said. It's important, and I think that that's huge.
Yeah, and the 3 chapters that we've come to up to this point, there's chapter 7 is on love, the chapter 8 is on the golden tongue wisdom, which is basically, we've covered that in some of the episodes that we've had with you.
Yep.
Which is basically waking dreams and golden tongue wisdom. We can talk about those, but those are where you look for the Holy Spirit in your everyday life.
And that's where that really is important, because I think, again, too, folks look for the Holy Spirit in other facets that aren't.
Not just when you're in church.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing, it's you wait for the setting to find the meaning, and it's all around us, It
is. Yeah. That's nice. You wait for the setting to find the meaning.
Yeah.
And that is not the direction. It's you find the meaning, and it meets every situation.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you.
Every situation.
Yeah, and that's where personal responsibility comes in, for us to recognize that and go, wow, I'm going to move forward here, but I gotta do some walking. I can't just wait here and be snapped up and say, poof,
you're
done.
Take the responsibility.
Take responsibility.
100% over. Well, and now how have your guys' discussions, have they grown since?
I think they have, and I also think that it's important to recognize that there's all age groups that are interested in finding their own purpose, finding their own mastery, whatever that means. And it is different for everybody, because we're all unique. We're all soul, which we talk about.
Right.
And that's why we love doing, like being out at the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival, which is a great event. And, you get to talk to more than just, the people in your sphere, or the few that are available to come to an afternoon event and during the week.
Right.
But it's amazing. It's people are looking for
and they
the
come
same
to
things.
Explain their viewpoint.
Right.
Like one woman came to you and said, "Well, I'm Catholic. And it's like, good.
Yippee.
Great. Yeah.
No, it's good to know where you are. And others come in and they start talking about their spiritual journey, how they went from here to here to here, and now they have this openness to everything, kind of like you.
Yeah.
Where it's like they learn, they want to learn, they're curious, and that curiosity is.
Or they say, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. You know, like that's an apology, but that's, you know, that's an epiphany, I think, you know, to figure out what works for you.
Well, and it all is about bettering, you know, oneself. And, you know, and I think that's so important on this because who knows? You could encounter so many people, and especially at the Zen Zone type of events and out and doing just public activities where one person might be in kind of just the crossroads and everything's a little foggy, you know, and where do I go? What do I want to do? What the heck is life all about right now? And a conversation about this is a great starting point at first with the Hugh prayer and the song. And it's a great way, hopefully, for somebody that's lost just to find some connecting points again and find that foundation to at least build their life back up.
That Hugh song that you mentioned, that's very important for absolutely every soul on the planet. It doesn't matter whether you have a religion, whether you're spiritual, but if you want answers to those questions, all those questions which come to everybody at different times every day. And it's like just stopping, and that's that reflection you mentioned. I call it contemplation, but it's still just the word.
Right.
It's like stopping and touching base, keeping in touch with your highest self. People can relate to what that is, whatever that is for you. Your highest being, your highest self. I call it soul because I believe that's for me. But the thing is that when I'm alone in the car, I have the Hue app. And there is a Hue app that is free, and you can find it on, if you go into your Play Store or Google Play, and you can just type in HU. But it is also Eckankar, ECKANKAR, Hue. You can get the Hue app. And this morning I was at the chiropractor, and he was doing something, and he wanted me to settle and relax. And I was nervous about getting back in time to get here because he's seeing like 3 people at the same time, and he goes from person to person. So I got the nudge, the inner guidance, play the Hue app, and I turned it down halfway, and I played it. It plays for 20 minutes. And I'm so used to playing it and knowing that it's my trigger to relax, let it happen the way it's supposed to happen. It's your adventure.
Yeah.
It's your journey.
Yeah.
You know, all those words. And we struggle with, am I doing the right thing? That's the mind wanting to know. The mind is a wonderful tool, but it's not the best advocate for soul. Soul is the advocate. So the mind has to calm down. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing this right? Am I relaxing in the right way? Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. It's if I'm asking a question, I know I'm in my mind, but sometimes I can't get out of it. So I sing the Hue.
Yep.
And I ask for help, assistance, guidance, whatever.
Yeah.
And sorry, Sheila.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say that's, you know, when you pray, when you stop your thinking, you know, and say, here it is, God, let's see what you have to offer.
Yes.
Get
what do you
my will out of the way.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
And,
thy will, not my will.
And that really, for me, is, you know, it like recenters, and I love that about the Hue, you know, and I think it's really important that, you know, especially like we said, you know, everything's moving so fast. It's like, okay, what can I do to center myself, figure out, you know, we were talking about what's really important, you know, what can I do to figure that out?
I think so many, and it goes hand in hand with my generation specifically too, because it's all about ourself. You know, I think that's such an important term, because my generation lives through the vicarious lens of social media and through influencers, and we want to live their life, and we want to be in the private jet, or we want to have the 500-acre farm and have the family and have a TikTok channel that generates millions of dollars. We all want those things. And what happens, though, is people see that and they go, how great would that life be? Well, and then they realize a couple months down the line, well, actually, I've never even been on a farm. I can't be a chicken farmer. You know, it's things like that. But I think this is where it goes hand in hand, because once you start reflecting on yourself and you start doing these inner guidances, you're going to realize, I don't need a $500,000 sports car. That's never been what I've been
There's
about.
nothing wrong with having that.
No. You're right. It's just, and my point is, though, it finds who you are.
It's instead of putting the focus on, I need this, what can I do for somebody else?
Yeah.
I know that's hard to imagine, but how is this serving someone else? What is my purpose? Is my purpose me, or is my purpose to share goodwill?
Yeah.
What is my spiritual purpose? And that's what we're, sharing. What can I do spiritually to make a difference?
It's very different for an elderly person like myself who's already done all the, up to what I need to do, to be able to sit back and say, well, how can I help you? But when you're young and you're doing whatever that life is demanding of you, not just asking you, but demanding that you do to survive, it helps to do that daily prayer, the daily spiritual exercise, spiritualizing yourself in whatever way that is for you. The Hughes song is popular. It's fantastic. And doing that at the beginning of the day, it sets the tone for the rest of the day, because those waking dreams things start happening. Like, I was afraid I was not going to be able to get home in time for Sheila to pick me up to come here. And as I'm thinking that, I have the Hughes song playing. There's a squirrel that runs across the street. That runs across the street and makes it across in plenty of time. And I go, good for you. And then I realized that was a waking dream. I'm going to make it home in plenty of time. Good for you. And those little things happen all the time, but they're like, oh, that's interesting. Instead of really putting it in place with the everyday spirituality that's happening right in this moment.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Eckankar. It's just a living, breathing teaching. It's your own personal unfoldment.
Not fixed in stone.
No, it's not fixed. You are part of the journey. You are the journey.
Well, right.
With the guidance of the master. So.
Well, and I think it's so important, because if you look at it the other way, which 90% of us probably do, you don't look at that as a squirrel.
We've been taught.
Right. Well, and see, that's where I think
to want that through the social media.
Yeah, right. And that's where I get at with this. Right. It's like, if that's me or anybody else, maybe we're going, get out of the way, we're going to be late. And then you create havoc for everybody around you.
It's the difference between what you believe and your awareness.
You're right. Yeah.
Beliefs are not awareness.
Yeah. I like that. That's a great point. It's true.
Yeah. I'd like to read this if I have a time. It's part of the book that we're studying and giving away. It says, in any subject you take in school, whether it's science, math, history, or art, the secret to success is problem solving. Generally, the solution is contained within the problem. The more experienced you become, the more problems you solve, and the more you grow in mastery and confidence, especially with problem solving on the mental level. And it says the same is true in the school of life. Sometimes, however, the problems we face seem beyond our abilities. Here is our opportunity to grow spiritually. Knowing how to work with the Ek, which is Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Helps us to overcome the fear of facing something that seems beyond our ability. We live a much more joyful, fulfilling life, knowing how to strike a balance. That's so important. Between doing everything within our power to address a problem and handing it over to the Ek, or Holy Spirit. That's the secret of problem solving from a spiritual perspective. And I think that's really important.
What does that mean to you? I mean, it's important to put that into your words, Sheila.
Well, in my own development, learning how to surrender is huge. You know, it's
big.
Like,
Doing as
because
much
I'm
as
pretty
you can.
pushy. You know, I can be. Don't even respond.
That's all right.
No, I mean, I recognize that in myself, and that's something that I'm working on spiritually. So
it's really fascinating. Well, we've been, girls, thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure talking with you. I hope you guys can learn more information by going to that's ECK-Illinois.org. That's ECK-Illinois.org. And Eckankar just has been really fantastic when it comes to providing these opportunities to really explore these. And we hope you have the time at 1 p.m. this coming Thursday, October the 2nd, the final Eckankar Ancient Wisdom for Today spiritual discussion, the goal of spiritual mastery. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, CJ.
I can't wait to have you back on.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. Daily Show comes back. We're going to be talking to Stephen Kupaki. This is an interesting story. In 1978, he disappeared for 15 months without a trace. Wow. Pops back up. Has no recollection of the disappearance. And the story's been out there for 40 years. We're going to dissect it a little bit more and talk with him.
I know the story.
Yep, and he'll be on and filling us in on it right after this quick break, right after this.